I'm back.
What is up, Toka? It is me, Sean. Welcome to Stam Studio Network, and welcome to Winton Motor Speedway. Got the club circuit layout for you today. 2 different series, both silver and gold, going to go at it at this very narrow, just 2-kilometer course, 10 turns, only matter of fact, as well. Toka, welcome back. Nice to have you here. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Pretty excited to see what happens here. We get an entire 4 races throughout this stream, just short races, but still a lot of action going on here. Especially with the formats that we've got, a 10-minute race. We got a race swap, of course, as well. There's a position after the first race. The finishing top 6 will swap positions top to bottom as well. And just because of the point format as well, results. Even though they might, be differing from first to fifth, the point difference is only around 10 points, right, from all the finishing positions. So it's always just going to be a super tight race, and especially we're looking at the standings so far, everything has been pretty close and competitive. So I'm just excited here to see what happens today.
Yeah, it looks like these drivers already ready to go. Green lights are out. Who's that? Tom Rappaport, Alex. On our front row. Man, this is going to get tight. Keep an eye on how narrow the whole track, but really the first corner. Looks like everybody's going to make it through cleanly, though. So far, so good, heading now into turn 3.
Here, Rappaport going to lead the charge up to follow closely because of getting cast here. The top 3 in the championship is the top 3 in the exact same order in this race so far. Some movements at the back, at the midfield there, but so far the race, the positions remain pretty much the same as we started. Oh, big collision at the back of the pack here, 10th position all the way back to 18. Ito Tall coming out last out of that one. And that's going to be a huge suffering for all of the drivers involved. And I think we're going to have to watch that one back. But it does mean that's going to be a pretty large gap that's going to be pulled from the driver's head who were safe and away from that whole incident. But man, that was insane. Let's see what happened here. All right, into the turn 3, 4, 5 here.
Late into it, man, and he just has nowhere to go.
Oh yeah, just rough. This track is just so tight. There's really no space to go, especially if you want to go side by side. It's quite hard. And yeah, this is exactly what can happen if you try to put yourself in a place that does not exist. Just like that, squeezed like a sandwich.
You're right.
3 wide, just clapped on by 2 cars. Couldn't do anything. Spun around. And yeah, even the red yellow car, the car there we saw, kind of looks like he was gonna get away with that. Ultimately, off a little bump, spun out as well. So it really goes to show that, especially with a tight track like this, right? It's very short. But since it's so tight, the precision driving that it requires is a very high ceiling. If you're not careful, exactly that can happen.
You mentioned it, and look, we are already 2 minutes into the first 10-minute race. Going to have another Silver Series race right after this, and that top 6 is inverted. So, going to keep an eye around that 6th spot around Orbram, Iran Frankel, because that's going to be the pole position for next race. But you mentioned it earlier. I'd like to take a quick look at our silver points, popping up on the screen now. Got Alex, Tom, Rodham, and then Gabriel, all in that top 5. And man, Toka, you mentioned it earlier in the race. That was our top running order there.
Yeah, exactly. See, well, was for a second there. Not sure what happened to Katz, who looks like he's having internet issues. We're seeing he's dropping out into 2 laps of distance here. Yeah, at the start of the race, actually, the pole position was Rappaport and followed by Kostrikan and Rat, so pretty much the same order in the championship. So pretty interesting how it plays out. But I mean, we already saw the points difference there. It's only an 8-point difference between first, second, and third. So pretty minuscule change, especially the format that we've got where first and second and then third each only have a difference of 2 points paying per position. So really, it doesn't pay a lot if you're ahead of your opponents. Wow, what a move there by Roden left there into that corner.
Oh, they're still going to be side by side. Check that out. What a move.
Yeah. Oh my God, Asa completely caught off guard. I didn't think there was space. I don't think Asa thought there was space. Rapport thought there was space either, but Kozchuk made that work somehow, stuck it through, and now Kozchuk is going to be leading this race away from his his championship rival right now. That was an incredible move.
Man, nice move, Alex. Secures the lead with just under halfway to go. 4 minutes, 20 seconds in this 10-minute heat. Look at these drivers. Also, I mentioned it. Got to keep an eye around this 6th position. 5th, 4th battle between Rodem and Arian going at it. Pace all over the track in this Silver Series. Stick around for Gold Series, going to follow right after next 10-minute heat. IIL love this series, and look at the racing going on too. Got the 10, Elian trying to make the move on Rodem. It's a little bit loose, and Toka, you were talking about the pass that Alex made for the lead. In our production meeting before the race, we went over just how narrow this track is. So I mean, what a run that Alex was able to get. What a pass out to the lead. Here halfway to go at Winton Motor Speedway.
Yeah, the issue with this track is it's very short, right? It's only 2 kilometers. That's 1.6 miles. And the fact that it's so tight really does not lend itself to allowing many overtakes. So that's why we saw there at the start, right? The starting position in terms of qualifying ended up being the same position that we saw before the incident. So any moves that you make, like the one that Kozchuk just made on our previous race and championship leader here at Rapport, has to be super committed, and you have to send it. And you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, like we saw at the back there with the race start incident, or sometimes it does work out. We get it spectacular racing, but that was not an example of that. Oh, a failed move and a failed sort of a failed defense that kind of bumped from the attacker from behind, gonna send Rotem left, spinning and off track, gonna drop him all the way back down to 9th position. So we were talking about that sort of mid-pack, 5th, 6th, 7th positions, important fight there. Let's look back at it again. See Rome left ahead here, trying to put in a defense, kind of going offline a little bit. Just catches a little, just decreases the grip when you're on the outside line, and just that tiny change when you try to apply the power perhaps a bit too early, sends it off spinning and losing the position to his opponent. Not only that, but also dropping down pretty deep as well.
You hate that for Rodem because he had pace. See him in the number 2, kind of digital camo looking BMW M2, and these cars are fantastic, fun to drive. Matter of fact, free on the service. If you don't have an iRacing membership yet, I mean, go grab yourself one. iRacing.com. Oh man, some tracks you got to pay for, some cars you got to pay for, but one of the free combos right here, excuse me, cars, not combos, do have to pay for. Winton is, looks like a car blinking in and out as we crest up through turn 4, that hairpin. Really difficult turn. Now we're heading down one of the only straightaways here at Winton Motor Speedway into a difficult, you see the rear end of Arian's BMW just about loop, get around on him. And the curbs that he just ran over there with his left sides, 3D modeled curbs here at Winton Motor Speedway. You're gonna have to be careful on exit with those curbs out there on turn 10, last turn of the track.
Yeah, we actually saw a few drivers, especially the fast ones, like the race leader. We have going super wide. Wow, yeah, see, just mentioning that, kind of flying over the curbs there and taking a few bumps on the way. But at turn 1 and 2, we saw a few drivers take the curbs, and it actually kind of hurts your pace a little bit, because these curbs are not forgiving. They may look soft, but you put your wheel on there and you'll find yourself halfway flying real quick.
Man, speaking of real quick, it seems like this first heat race gone by really quick. Already 8.5 minutes, only 2.5 to go. So hopefully Gonna see Alex keep up his pace. Got that 2.5-second gap over Tom Rappaport. Nice run for him. Then Birdie Galili. I remember him when I first started broadcasting for IIL back in the Super Formula Lights. Nice run for Birdie going on, as well as Ariane. And then 4 spots since the start of the race for Orr. Matter of fact, still putting pressure on Ariane. Ariane Frinkle, then Ofer running P7. Looks like Ofer got his car fixed up after that incident.
I'm not sure what happened, but Cats is, as of currently, out of the race, and we haven't seen him in a while, so not sure what happened there. He was running in the top 3 lead, right? So if this result does stick, it can end up hurting him a lot in the championship. Currently 3rd, but not scoring any points on his first race when his 2 championship rivals are in fact going to be ending up 1st and 2nd. Is gonna really damage his chances for this championship. It's still early days, only round number 3 right now, but yeah, definitely something to consider in the long run of things.
I'm glad you bring that up because, like we mentioned, when Rodham had the pace here, it looks like he is back. See, in the car now. It's really weird pit entry, but you see him still sitting behind that Porsche safety car, so looks like just possibly waiting for heat to begin. Looks like Alex going to make it official. That 3-second gap just needs to keep the car on track. Easier said than done with how narrow this place is. Should be coming to the checkered next time by. That will solidify it. Man, Winton Motor Speedway, if these Gold Series drivers are watching, careful on the restarts, because we saw some 3 wide try to present itself, and it did, but only lasted for maybe half a second before. A little bit of issues. So, checkered flag's gonna be out, man. Congratulations, Kozachuk. Gonna take Winton Motor Speedway Race 1. Tom Rappaport finishing out there P2 just in front of Birdie Galili. Nice run for these drivers, as well as the points. Iran and Orr 4th, 5th.
All right, so that's gonna end our top 6 position. Remember, for the 2nd race, those positions will be inverted for the rest of the drivers. Mazzo is coming in 7th, Sauerpin, Rodham Lev, his compatriot, the same name there, is not going to enjoy the same luxury of scoring points. And finishing off top 10 is Ido Tao, so that's the final points pay position. But with this result, Kozachuk is going to extend his championship standing. So brings that gap up to 10, up to 10 points are different. So it was 8 before, but just slightly increasing it. But the main point that we take away from this race is Cats, it's going to lose out quite a lot. It has to try and put up a great performance in the 2nd race, which we'll have to do it slightly further behind, because the positions are going to be swapped, and we see here inverted starts for the top 6 for the 2nd race.
Iran Frinkle going to grab that pole with the inverted grid. Orr, Brahm, Ilran Assa, Birdie Galili, Tom Rappaport, Alex Kozachuk, Ofer Mazuz, Alexei Surpin. That top 8, Rodham Lev. Top 9, keep an eye on him this restart. Quite frankly, the whole next 10 minutes. Ido Tao, P10, Amnon, P11, and Tomir, P12. Okay, so now these drivers know what to expect out of these cooler temperatures, out of the tires and brakes. Red, 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 green flag. Here it comes. Lights out and away. These drivers head into another quick turn 1-2 right off the bat.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Oh, already!
And a spin from the race leader there. And that is... Oh, Brahm's going to drop all the way back to the back of the grid, but...
No!
Comes behind him, and this is going to throw a spanner in the work, because all these positions are going to end up being swapped all over the place. Nothing's going to matter, and every single one of these drivers is going to look for opportunities, because these opportunities are rising fast, and they're rising out of every single corner here. Leading out of turn number 3 is going to follow closely by Kozachuk, who went up now from the 6th place position, winning for first race.
3 wide.
After it was Franco, Rappaport, Assa, and Sauerbrunn follow up the top 6. again that we see side by side. So many drivers and another incident here. Pieces of car flying all over the place. Oh my God, Rodham left, who's suffering so bad from the first race, had involved in another incident in the second one, and none of these drivers come out of this unscathed there. And again, we saw a chaotic start to seeing how tough this track can be. The short length combined with the tightness of the circuit really lends itself to these chaotic incidents if these drivers are not careful. And we see it time and time again, and we see it again here in this second race.
Man, I mentioned those cooler temperatures, cooler pressures. Man, the track had a little bit more grip now, but aggression levels were up. We saw, I mean, more than it seemed like half the field with an incident that first lap, but things starting to cool down now. Looking at Gabriel Fuchs, up 7 spots since the start, man. Gabriel got through that cleanly. His chrome and matte black BMW looking good at the start. But what a start, man. Nice call in that, Toka. You, I don't think, missed anything at all that our cameraman didn't see. That was great call enough in the booth here. Nice work.
RE2 driver was going to be pitting and basically ending their race there. So from that one incident, we're taking out 3 drivers. So very unfortunate to say goodbye to them for the second race. I mean, yeah, they'll come out, but the gap to the driver ahead of them. Well, good luck for that, unless a miracle happens. But yeah, IX Coast Truck, that winner of the first race, came from 6th place position up to first now, still leading this race, so looking to put in another strong performance and take the sweep here at Winton Motor Speedway in Australia. But the main thing...
Trying to pass for the lead, and then second, fourth, fifth, it's gonna go around. Oh my, we're still making contact.
Oh, I thought we was gonna get a moment of clean racing, but not 30 seconds after the first incident finish, or the last drivers came out of the pits, another incident occurs. Well, fortunately, Alex Kolachuk somehow still ahead of all of this. That's the benefit of leading the race, or when the drivers head or behind you collide, you're not going to run into any issue. But all the position swaps here.
That was a pass for the lead gone bad. Move. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, really bad there. I think he did not need to defend that, and he didn't try to, but I think driving on your mirrors can really backfire, and we saw it there where he kind of tried to defend from Kolachuk a little bit and realized it was kind of pointless, gave up, and then once Kolachuk went past, he realized, oh, I'm heading straight into a corner, I need to do something, but it was too late because he was looking at the driver behind him trying to ute the way, correct, back markers, and ended up off the track, off the limits, and off to the grass.
Now, I do believe these drivers have a fast repair here in IIL, but the 3 drivers, Ophir, Shalami, and Rodham, still into the pit lane now, so not sure what's going on there, if they've just kind of thought better of it, but points mean so much. Coming down to even 1 point can make or break the difference. Great battling back here between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's Serpental, Asa, and Horozowski.
Yeah, I mean, Kolachuk's still going to be leading his the race here, but the drivers behind, I think, kind of...
Whoa!
Oh, we actually saw there Horozowski coming off that corner, which another one that the drivers actually did as well in the first race. That same set of corners where you can try and carry a lot of speed. It kind of comes out of the S section, the end of the X section, where you kind of have to brake a little bit into a 90-degree corner. Some of these drivers try to carry a little bit too much speed, and that's what we see happen quite a lot. we see Sourpin there with half his bonnet missing, trying to chase down Kolachuk.
Man, a lot more pace in that car than I thought would be with the whole front end gone. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Yeah. So, yeah. Correction. Actually chasing down Towel, but yes, still a lot of opportunities around. Kind of see. I mean, a single mistake can just basically send you to the shadow realm. So these drivers have to be extra careful, and you know that's a double-edged sword. If you're too careful, you kind of present your opponent a chance to overtake you, or in another case, if you're not careful, then you make a mistake, you spin off, and you lose the race anyways. So a lot to consider as these drivers Meanwhile, they're still trying to navigate this tight, narrow, and short track. 3 wide, not going to work out. A beautiful sequence where all 3 cars kind of got pushed into the same direction. Some of the lead car comes out unscathed. Well, the other 2, well, I'm pretty sure they're screaming on their radio about that incident from at the driver ahead there.
Oh, I would bet so, man. That's kind of nowhere to go type scenario. See that a lot within kind of super speedway racing over in the oval side. But yeah, Alexei Serpin taking it to him, up 6 spots since the start of the race. Then man, Kozachuk out here in the lead. We're gonna see a sweep in the Silver Series possibly. That would be something to keep an eye on. So we are now 6.5 minutes of this 10-minute race. This is last race today of the Silver Series. Then gonna head on to Gold. 2 quick 10-minute heat races there.
Oh, as you mentioned there, it looks like the Kozachuk is gonna bring this one nice and easy back home, take a flag and win that second race as well. So it's gonna be an easy sweep for him if things not go wrong here at Winton Speedway. But the rest of the drivers, there's still fights going on here. Tall and Sarpin just swapped positions again there. So finally, Tall gonna pull that move off on Sarpin and gonna feed him to the wolves here as Asa is right behind them as well. Tons of pace, as you mentioned before, despite the entire front end going missing in that first incident to race. But I guess it was just following this closely with slipstream, you're not gonna need all that aerodynamic performance anyways from your car parts. Just need to get past. That's the main thing. But we saw there too deep, couldn't brake in time for that 5, 6, 7 turn section. Birdie. And another sprint there. Birdie Galili gonna go off, trying to recover too quickly, and it's gonna suffer even more. It's not gonna be under pressure from the drivers behind, but they're gonna be left in no man's land. Following up closely behind Schuster, followed by Fuchs and Rome left here, still following closely behind. So again, we see these kind of 3-on-3 situation across the entire track, right? We saw it with Tall, Sarpin, and Asa. Now we see it again here with the car in 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I mean, this track just kind of lends itself to drivers following each other super closely, but not being able to pull off a move unless one of the drivers ahead of you make a major mistake and go off track like that.
I want to look at how Ido made that move on Alexei earlier. You just mentioned how hard it is to pass unless that driver makes a mistake. Let's see. Oh, just the door opened. 27 of Alexei just kind of opened the door.
Oh, he sends it.
Yeah.
Very late. Yeah, I thought he was gonna kind of manage to just get the car stopped in time after that move. Thankfully, there was enough time before the corner that came after him to recover in time, and what the corner that came after was this exact S section here. That there's still really no space for, even if Sarpin really wanted to, couldn't get back to position, right? Even if Tao made the mistake there, so Tao would be thanking his lucky stars. Also, perhaps a bit of skill involved there. He chose the correct timing to go, saw the door open, and fortunately, it was the sort of strategically correct set of corners to do so as well.
Definitely got to set up that next sort of set of corners as well. There's an incident in front. Oh, Matan gonna try to make that move, muscle his way past Gabriel, but Gabriel says, no, sir, I'm not having any of that. Whoa. That
yeah, Matan Schuster there tried to go for it. There was space, but I mean, these drivers try to be respectful. We saw that Schuster went all the way to the right with his steering wheel, but still couldn't leave enough space because this track is just so tiny. Look at this. There was space. I think Gabriel didn't really pay attention too much here, kind of turning into his compatriots a little bit. But yeah, we saw that ultimately ended up meaning Matan had to give him all the space available, and then again, this track is so tight that there is no space available. And it ends up what happens. So just thankfully, fortunately, these drivers come out of that collision alive and well, and still going to be able to continue to race here. But for this race, it's coming to an end here. White flag, check flag is already going to be flowing. Kozachuk pulling a 6-second gap to second place at Tao. Going to come home to take the checker flag. And is going to win this second race as well. So a clean sweep. Behind him, all those fighting, Tao, Sarpin, Asa, for those 3 positions, gonna come to an end as well. So Tao gonna come home in 2nd place, and Sarpin gonna round off the podium for this 2nd race. The rest of the field looks like it's pretty solid. No more fighting towards the end here. It's Asa, 4th, Horzowski, 5th, Brody. You got Lily, who kind of coming out of nowhere, coming up to 6th place position, gonna earn a good chunks of point, followed close by Gabriel, Schuster, Rappaport, who suffered terribly after that first incident, gonna take consolation. 9th place, for rounding out the top 10 is Terzari. Man, what an incredible set of race here. That was only the silver bracket, but this track it just produced the most amazing racing of the highest quality, and at the same time the most chaotic incidents that can come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that it will, man. If you got to stick around for this Gold Series coming up in just here a few minutes time. So maybe grab a drink, grab a snack, join us right here. Same video, matter of fact, as well. Just going to switch the screens, take a quick break. Appreciate all of you joining us for Silver Series, and congratulations to Alex for, man, the clean sweep today. Be right back on Stam Studio Network. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We got the Gold Series for you now. Winton Motor Speedway, club layout, super tight technical track. Man, hope you got your popcorn and your drinks ready. Toka, this is going to be anything like we saw in that first silver race. Man, we are in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes down to how you look at it, right? You can either want something if you're into the entertainment value of the race, right? Then you want something. We saw in the Silver Series, a lot of incidents happened across the tracks that created a lot of drama and entertaining moments. And then you can be on the other hand, maybe you just want them to have clean, competitive racing, but perhaps on a track like this, that doesn't really lend itself well to facilitating overtakes and competitive racing action. Maybe you need some of those incidents to spice these things up, so we'll see what happens, but I'd be doubtful to predict that there won't be any incidents considering how this track is built, and especially with Gold Series, even with these, quote-unquote, better drivers and more experience who are a lot more competitive at a higher level, these things can happen so easily as well.
That it can. We've already seen it quite a few times this season, even last season in the Super Formula Lights. Take a look at the gold point standings. We got Reuven Chakta up here leading Yuval Merrick P2 in the points. Two Yuval Merricks.
I'm not sure what's up with that.
So maybe just Alon Day there, P3. Yossi Gebe sitting P4 in the standings. That would be a Yeli P5, Sison Baba P6, Mark Zubarev in the Red Bull BMW sitting P7, Arnon Levi P8, and then actually we got tied for P8, but ran what would be sitting P9. Toka, I know you weren't up in the booth with me last season. Ran really talented driver. Matter of fact, does some real life racing as well, but not sure if he just relies on the downforce a little bit more, but we see him sitting 10th in the point standings, unfortunately. See if we can hop on board with Ran now. Matter of fact,
it'd be interesting to see what happens in the race. So you saw in the first race, there are a lot of, the good drivers that can get into good qualifying positions can, still kind of ends up ahead, but just the amount of incidents that occurs on this track, you never know what happens. The championship swings can be quite significant. You never know what can happen, especially getting into a crash, multiple car power up, and then all the positions get swapped and everything gets messed up.
Especially with how close that the point standings run at the moment. Ran to Sony at he's only 6th fastest out of 9 drivers this practice session. Yuval Merrick so far has that first place. We'll throw some practice standings up on your screen now. But man, I am super eager, excited to get this thing started off because we've seen it before. Sure, this Silver Series is great fun to watch, but man, you want to add I think they've shaved about 2 seconds off the pace. Going to be interesting to see how these gold drivers navigate the close quarter combats here at Winton Motor Speedway. The club circuit, matter of fact, of Winton, it's really a test to both driver finesse and patience. If you didn't see the silver race, go ahead and rewind it while we still have some time. Get a great glimpse of that, and then even the 10-minute race format. Oh, look, here comes those 3D rumble strips, newly simulated. Oh, blue and orange BMW completely just not running on them at all. But just quick 10-minute races today, 2 of them, and then at the end of the first 10-minute race, we are going to invert that top 6. So if you got 6th, you'll be starting on the pole, and vice versa, so on and so forth. So Yuval Merrick putting down a 1:73 right now. What a lap time for him, man. And matter of fact, great paint scheme is that MF Racing YouTube on the back bumper inside. Be sure to check them out. Chasing down a Peppa Pig machine. Toka, I know you like your Peppa Pig, right?
No, not too sure about that. Hey man, don't put words in my mouth.
All right, fine.
I'm a big fan of Peppa Pig, though.
be the
Big fan of this Peppa Pig livery, though. Dang,
yeah,
it's unique.
that's what I meant to say. Yes, there you go.
I don't know. I love me a unique paint scheme on your cars. Always fun to see. It shows the driver's characters and also helps identify and perhaps acquire some fans, a bit of following. Because with racing, it's just kind of hard, right? You're just in a car. I press pedal, I go fast, right? So, but especially these smaller series, right? You don't really have that exposure of like, oh, what are the drivers like outside of racing? So these just small little things like the liveries or like, how well you perform can perhaps gain you a bit of fan, a little bit. People might like you. People might find okay, he's not that, hasn't been that successful, but his livery is cool. I'll follow him. I'll support him. So, never know.
Yuval still with the fastest lap here in practice. Ayeli only 0.17 seconds behind Yuval's fastest lap. Doesn't look like half these cars' paints are coming in. I'll try and refresh trading paints here, get all these paints loaded in. It's weird that about half of them are working, half not. But Griiip here, the 42, got some good pace, sitting P3 in practice, and 7,000 I rating. That's some pace.
All right, so interesting here. Well, first of all, the difference between gold and silver already from this practice session is pretty large. I mean, these aren't cold tires like they will have to start the race, but already shaving off like 2-3 seconds with the silver series. But overall, it's a lot closer. We saw that in the first and the second race of the silver series before this, where towards the even at the start there already, after like 2-3 laps, the gaps are already building up to 2-3 seconds between each drivers, but here a lot closer. And secondly, the silver drivers didn't really, I think, push the track to its limit, but these drivers were seeing it happen. And one of the things we're noticing from this is firstly, these 3D curbs actually don't hurt your car at all. So these red yellow curbs here on the right, we can call it kind of a pseudo saucer curb. It's raised. When you get on it, your wheel will basically be lifted all the way, but if you kind of cut it a bit more and you put the curb in the middle of your car, it basically levels your car and doesn't hurt you at all. And secondly, these rumble strips don't hurt you at all. But surprisingly, the sand also doesn't hurt you. So a lot of drivers have been dipping entire wheels into the sand and not suffer. But the moment your wheel comes into any contact with the grass, your car just flies off. So I'm not sure if it comes down to the modeling of the track or what, but we kind of see on the edge a lot of times when it's like half grass, half sand. If your wheel is on the sand, it doesn't affect your speed or like your braking at all. But if you dip into the grass, well, good luck, goodbye. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers kind of push the track limits a little bit more than what we saw in the first Silver Series races.
I like how you mentioned, sure, it might not hurt you if you dip your tire in that sand, but it'll definitely hurt the driver behind you. We've seen this newer season of iRacing add that in to where you can put some gravel back out on track or put some dirt out on track and definitely make it just a little bit more slick for these drivers behind you the next time through the corner, or maybe even yourself if you happen to run off line just a little bit that next corner. Only 10 turns today. That's going to really test our drivers. Man, Yuval still fastest in practice. Nobody able to beat his lap. However, we do have Alon Day. That is another real racer. Turned some laps in real life. Matter of fact, quite a few more laps than just some. But he's able to get just 0.04 seconds. I'm showing on my timing and scoring behind Yuval Merrick. If you're just now joining us, I'm going to flash those gold points up on the screen one more time before this race starts. Looks like Tal just now finishing the practice session, so qualifying going to kick off. Got Reuven Chaka. He got that one win, 9th average start though. Is Reuven here today? Let me check. Yes, he is 3rd fastest timing and scoring in practice, and then Yuval, Alon Day, Yossi, Ayala, rounding out that top 5 in the points. So gonna hop on board with some of these fast, or really point leaders this qualifying session, see really how much different it is compared to the Silver Series, how much aggression that these drivers going to use on these curbs and on exit. Mid-corner, entry, mid-corner, and exit. There you go. Hop on board with Yuval.
Alright, so we're on to the qualifying session here. Right, coming out of turn number 2 here, and then a long left-hander, number 3. It's going to come into this brutal section that I'm just going to dub, because I'm not going to use the names. Nobody's going to remember them. A triple, essentially a triple hairpin situation. It goes right, left, right, 3 hairpins back to back. And I mean, you can try attacking the drivers ahead of you through this section, but I mean, you mess it up, you're gonna be flying into yonder. Now coming out of corner number 6 here into 7, long left-hander, and it's gonna come out to the straight. One of the few straights in this entire track, and already it's quite short, so the lack of straights combined with the short length overall doesn't really allow you to catch that slipstream that much. Into 8th and then 9th, 10th here, which is a really nice, smooth flowing set of S corners back to back. Then finally gonna end up into the back straight and then crossing the finish line. So the track flows really quite smoothly if you're driving low in the qualifying, and it lends itself into the really low downforce setup. But overall, when it comes to the racing, it is very brutal and doesn't allow that much of a margin of error.
Yeah, man, I talked with Yuval just a little bit before the start of the race, and he said what you said, Silver race. It's going to be so hard to pass here, just almost relying on the guy in front of you to make a mistake at that point. But looks like we have everybody on track now. We'll hop on board with Ryuven, who's sitting at P3 in the points. And nice helmet paint, see up in the rear view mirror, top of your screen. Going to be very interesting, and you can already kind of see the difference, how much more aggression, how much more these gold drivers kind of trusting the BMW than silver. Looks like Ryuven just on his outlap here, but Alon Day, matter of fact, showing some great pace, putting down a 1:01.16, has the pole for the moment. Only 2 laps for these drivers, so yeah, on their hot laps now.
And this is the difference between experienced drivers and perhaps newer drivers who have the speed in them, but not quite have figured out the racing game just yet. They met just tiny little things, just using a little bit more of the curve, pushing the tracks a little bit more, watching where you put the wheels, going all the way outside of the line where you can. These are the banker laps, and they're already like 2 seconds ahead, faster than the pole lap in the silver session, and they're going to improve on this lap once more, cut down by 2/10, and then going into the 1 minute area there, so sub 1 minute 1 second. And these are I expect the best times to be around just slightly above that 1 minute mark. We'll see if any drivers can dethrone Alon Day, who has ended his banker and then his flying lap there. We'll just head into the pits.
Looking at Iran Delatsky here, sitting 8th now. This could be a faster lap. Hop on as he comes across the start-finish line now. Sadly, not going to improve. So, for the moment, only 4, 5, 6, 7 cars left out on track. It's going to be hard to beat that damn near 1 flat from Alon Day. Omri Farag increasing his start position up to P8. That's going to help, especially with the inversion, if he's able to keep it clean through the first few laps, man. What a start. What 2 starts from the Silver Series before this. I think it's only, how do you say this? It's going to get more aggressive, but even more respectful, if that even kind of makes sense from this Gold Series.
Yeah, the thing with this track, and especially with tracks like this where overtaking is not really that easy, the higher the level of skill you get to, the more boring the race get. It's a little bit of a paradox, right? Oh, you think it's a tight track and there's more chaos, but the truth is the better these drivers become, the more respectful they are. We end up with races that nothing happens because they're not gonna make silly mistakes, so that you can't rely on the driver ahead of you just spinning off and then letting you take that position. And the driver behind is not gonna go crazy, send it down into a corner space that doesn't exist and get both of you off track. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I don't expect there to be as many opportunities because these drivers are going to be not defending a lot better. They're going to be a lot smarter with how they manage their race overall. But you never know with a track like this. But the last driver out on track, that Royven, going to be able to improve. Went from 6th now up to 2nd place. So I'm going to start right alongside and in that front row. So great finish the qualifying session for him there, the last lap.
Definitely so. Looks like just one more driver now. Dima Medvednik out on track now in his purple BMW M2. That's a easy one to spot from the spotter stands. Looks like going up and through the hairpin turn 4 now. Ooh, gonna get a little bit loose on exit. Probably gonna compromise that whole lap there for Dima. So just rounding out qualifying, stick with us. Alon Day going to start their P1, and then Reuven just right behind. Just matter of fact, 1/10 of a second is Reuven. So looks like things going to transition over to the race session now. If you're just now joining us, man, welcome to Stam Studio Network and Tal's ILAKA series. Appreciate the sponsor, ILAKA Esports, coming on board today. Take a look at this. We got Google Earth view of Winton Motor Speedway. Again, only the club circuit today, but you're going to see where your favorite drivers are running. You see the tight turn 4 hairpin heading into turn 5, that S sort of section, and then turn 6 towards really the one, really only straightaway we have here today. 2 separate 10-minute races, top 6 inverted. Congratulations, Alon Day. You're going to solidify the pole with nobody else out there on track at the moment. I am so excited for this race to kick off, man. This is going to be a great time here into turn 1. This whole first lap going to be action-packed.
Interesting point to pick up as well. I think keen viewers might have been able to spot it out there from the Google Earth image. This facility for the Winton Motor Raceway here in the state of Victoria, Australia, also has an over track. So we actually saw an over dirt track there. So very interesting stuff going on here. But these are the positions that are going to start the race with Alon Day here. Brilliant lap, almost 1 second flat. Going to be starting in the pole position. Roy Chacha Slively managed to edge in that last lap, put him in the 2nd place. Yuval Marek, our championship leader, ran up the top 3, followed closely by Kanovich Ki, Lom Shafir, Yosef Gabay, Sion Baba, Arnon Levy, Omri Farag, Aaron Dolitsky, Mark Subarev, and Asaf Yaron rounds off the number 12 starting position. 6 more drivers behind Asaf Yaron that, but in terms of the championship positions here, Yuval Marek, who's leading, going to be starting in 3rd now, and Chacha Slively is quite a few way behind in terms of the championship. Is going to have an opportunity to bite into that lead.
That he will. Looks like, yep, here come the lights already. This is what we've been waiting for. Gold Series Race 1 is out, and away they go. Already some lane switches going on there for Yuval and Yeli. Let's take a look at what happens here into turns 1, turns 2, heading into 3. Then don't forget that hairpin there into turn 4.
All right, Alan, they're cutting across to the fence from the first corner from Chacha Slively. All the drivers come out cleanly. There are no incidents as far, so drastic difference what we saw from the silver race. So all the positions staying the same. The drivers being super respectful. A few drivers kind of bumping a lot on that 3-4 curb there. Very dangerous. You do not want to push the limits, especially the first lap here where the drivers, the tires are super cold here. Novishki gonna cut across there to try and block off Sion Baba, but it's not gonna work out. Gonna spin off It's gonna go all the way to the back. So Yaron, I'm not gonna like what happened there. Unfortunate, but that's the price you pay when you go for this aggressive approach to your defense. It's not gonna work out. You reap what you sow. Alan Day here, sealing the charge followed by Chas Sleevey. After that, it's Marek, Kanovitsky, Shafir, Gabay, Baba, Levy, Farrick, and finally off the top 10 is Subarev. So we finish. We follow through with the same start that we had at pole position. With only the difference is SF Yaron come out badly out of that incident. But so far, super clean, completely opposite of what we expected, seeing the result of that first 2 silver races.
Take a look at that Asaf Yaron incident here. Man, maybe cold tires, maybe just trying to make a move too early on that outside. We'll take a look, see what happens. Doesn't look like any contact.
Oh, gets a bumped. No, he gets a bumped there in the rear, on the rear right, and he gets spun around. I wouldn't place the blame on the driver behind there, more as if you're kind of not looking in the mirrors a little bit, trying to cut across too aggressively, and he kind of put himself into the pit maneuver. See, he cuts himself across here through this hairpin section. And I mean, look at that. No place to go for the driver behind him, right? There's just no play. Just the tiniest bump where he's kind of on the limit already with the grip that his tires has. And yeah, it's just going to go spin around for the merry-go-round.
Alrighty, man. Alon, Ryuven, Yuval, top 3, staying the same since the start of the race. And then, well, matter of fact, top 9 staying the same. Only Mark Zubarev gaining 1 spot since the start. And that's just how much cleaner the start's been. There's been no big one to where you can gain 10 spots that easily. Looking at the battle for what is the lead between Alon and Ryuven. And great, clean, respectable racing. IIL Gold Series, ILAKA Esports.
I mean, Rovin's going to just going to try and have to look for opportunities, especially on a track like this. You essentially just trying to follow closely behind, get your tires in the right temperature, but that actually doesn't really matter a lot in a short race like this. More likely you're trying to just keep in the slipstream, try to keep your grip level up, and wait for an opportunity. But these opportunities, they don't come often, and when they do, I mean, you gotta take it. And even when they do arise, you kind of have to send it super hard into these corners, because there are only 3 straights on this track, and considering it's only 1.6 mile of asphalt, these straights are basically meaningless. You have to try and go for the overtakes in the corners, and the only corners that actually allow overtakes cleanly. Oh, it's not one of those. That hairpin not going to work out. That elope, the Peppa Pig car we mentioned at the start, going to go off track there. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to work out for the Methanic and Baba there involved in that incident in the back. But, yeah, finally we see an incident, right? The race has just been super clean so far, but finally someone tries to send a move into the hairpin turn number 7. It does not work out, as you saw there. Go too deep, especially the curb, the red-white curb, it wraps all the way around the hairpin, so there's just no space for you if you make a single mistake. So it's just super punishing, this track.
See the brake light differential. I mean, the 39 just got in so much deeper than the 5, but they're able to, yeah, the 39 keeps his car rolling, and so does the 5 of Tyson Baba, able to get it off the racing line, and nobody else is collected. Great, respectable racing after getting spun from both those drivers.
An interesting point is that one of the strategies you can approach is not be too hasty. That we saw him being too hasty into the hairpin. What you can do is just take the outside line. It's quite worse in terms of hairpin if you take a white line, but taking a white line does mean that as long as you have half a car long, coming into the next section after that hairpin will be an S section. But that means that you're in the inside line for that section the entire way through. So it'll set you up quite nicely if you want to make a move. So one of the few corners where you can make a move is after that S section in turn 10, and the only other spot that I can think of is turn 2-3 complex, where you are you come out a 90-degree corner and then into a long winding left-handed corner. You can try and pull alongside, but beyond that, this track is just super tough to try and overtake anyone. no matter even if you're if you have the pace over your opponents.
Yeah, we looked at that lap time history there, the bottom of your screen for just a bit. I mean, it's been back and forth between Alon. He's faster one lap, and then Reuven right there behind him, faster the next lap. Back, forth. Only half a second get back now for Reuven, and then Yuval is right there behind. So is Ayeli. If any contact does occur between these top two drivers, we saw that Silver Series, you can quite frankly get quite a few spots pretty easily. Say thank you very much.
Actually, one of the things we see is these drivers are really riding the curbs here. So one of the things they definitely have to think of when they set up these cars is the ride height, right? They have to set up it quite high because it has to be designed to take these curves. Because these curves are quite raised, especially considering that they are fully 3D animated, 3D mapped onto the track. And you know, if you don't take the whole corner, so basically only leaving your inside two wheels on the track and then leaving the entire other car, entire your car outside the track, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So just getting it set up right is super important, especially on the track like this, that highly downforce reliance, and you also have to try to not make any mistakes as well. So sensitive cars are not gonna tend well either.
I'd like to just take you through the field as battle for the lead continues to stay the same at about that half-second gap. Alon, Reuven, of course, Yuval, top three. Ayeli still sitting P4, and then Lodem Shafir in that number 3, black BMW, getting chased by Yossi Gabe. Really familiar paint scheme for Yossi. Nice to see all of these drivers make it out here tonight, or today, wherever you happen to be joining in from live here on the YouTube channels. But man, Yossi having a great run, and then Omri up 2 spots since the start, also has MF Racing on his BMW. Nice run for him. Mark Subarev, the very familiar Red Bull-esque paint scheme. You see, it's actually more of an elephant there on the back doors. Ryan Sassoni, Aaron Delaski are running our 9th and 10th spots.
I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't know. Yossi's paint scheme kind of reminds me of actually character evolution.
What was that?
Mario Kart. The neon green here from Yossi Gabe actually kind of looks like Yoshi from Mario Kart. So I don't know. Not sure if there's a correlation there. Would be interesting though.
I will not be able to unsee that now.
Not bad.
Man, appreciate. Look at the IIL and ILAKA on the quarter panels and doors of Yossi, man, trying to get past Lodem Shafir right there in the back bumper.
There's no way. There's just no space. He's so close. Gets the slipstream. Gets the speed advantage. Right, you tuck behind you the car, and you're looking. Oh, I got the slipstream. I got the speed. You can send it to the corner. It moves 2 centimeters over. There's no space and no move to go for it. It's so hard in this track. These drivers are just. I mean. In terms of experience, right, a cut above the silver drivers, and we see the biggest difference in terms of their racecraft. They know how to defend. It's not, oh, I see a move, I see a threat, I have to respond. Nope, I just move my car slightly over and understand the ergonomics of the track. There's no way you can go past you without risking throwing your car into the abyss.
Man, you see Yossi faster than number 3 there, but is not able to get the pass done. That's why he's slower there at lap 7s and lap 9, because you see him gets right there on the back bumper, and like you said, Toka, man, just nowhere to go. Yehuda Ben Yosef, a little bit of an incident we'll take a look at. Hopefully nothing big. Ooh, trying to chase down the number 7 of Dima there in front of him. It's into one of the harder braking zones of the track. Everything get okay? You too much rumble strip.
Yeah, the curb. Yep. Just getting bounced off there. Actually, Ben Yosef actually did a pretty good job breaking to that corner, breaking really deep. Managed to get the car stopped in time. Actually pulled off a pretty close gap, but then immediately took it in rumble strip and flying off. Oh, this helmet. This is the Lando Norris helmet, if I'm not incorrect.
It is. Good call.
On that rumble strip here. And that's the Lando Norris helmet. So interesting choice. Representing your hero is not uncommon in motorsports. We see it over again and again across all disciplines of racing.
Griiip, this whole race, 11 minutes into this thing, still on Allenday's back bumper. If you're Allende, man, you've got to be thinking, like, okay, when is this guy maybe going to miss his braking mark? When is Griiip possibly, where is he going to make a move? Because Allende doesn't have the pace right now to run away from him. I know that's got to be in Allende's mind. That's where you look back at Griiip now. He is close, within 4 to 5 car lengths, and I'd just like to take a moment, thank everybody joining in live, and if you watch the replay of the broadcast. If you are watching live, though, let us know who you think's going to win this race and also the next heat. Remember, top 6 will be inverted, but this battle for the lead hasn't gone anywhere since, the drop of the green flag. Great race in between these two.
Yeah, and one of the main things that you brought up there, I'm going to just add on to it, is Alan is going to be driving, and it's easy to defend, but it's also hard to put it off your mind that if the driver behind you goes for an aggressive move, which is something you can't control, right? Okay, you defend, you do a good job, you give him no space to try and overtake, but if he tries anyways, there's a very high chance that things go bad for both of you, and you can end up being the one that comes out worse. So you never know on a track like this, right? And Royven, he just goes for a move, sends it down the inside, spins out and day. What are you gonna be able to do, right? So definitely another factor to add on in terms of this racecraft. Expect the unexpected. It's one of the hardest skills I think you can get in any discipline of competitive sports, anywhere, motorsports or not. So yeah, definitely. And another thing to add on to there, but anyways, Allende is just gonna have to try and keep his opponent at bay. It's gonna be a 2-horse race basically for the first and second place. Without him in third is Euro Merrick, who's pretty comfortably in third, followed by Ayale Kanovicki, who's also just pretty comfortably in fourth. Not really the gap is perhaps a bit too far to chase down, but the rest of the field is still pretty tightly bunched up. A lot of fights going on beyond this top 4 positions.
Yeah, shoot, look at back here for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We're looking at Arnon Levi, and then there's Dima running 13th, up 3 spots since the start. But this is what I love about the Gold Series, and quite frankly, IIL in general. Sure, we saw things get a little bit spread out there in Silver Series, but look at 5 cars. You could throw a blanket over, all 5 of them. Just great racing all around throughout the pack. Allende, Griiip, Alan, he's able to push that gap just a bit more. Wonder if Alan's maybe got a long run car set up for him, and maybe Griiip's car maybe tailored towards the short run. But this is a little bit longer run than our silver race. Looks like 20 minutes for this first race, and then should be 20 minutes for the second. Again, top 6 inverted, so just like silver race, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this 6th place. And if I was behind the wheel, Toka, walk me through your thoughts here, but if I'm Yossi sitting in 6th, trying to get Lodem here, sure, that's points, but if you can't make the pass, don't try to compromise yourself or Lodem, and kind of solidify that pole position for heat number 2. Matter of fact, I've seen Yossi do that a couple times. Maybe not intentionally, but just starting out there on the pole in heat number 2 for Gold Series.
All right, if you are Yossi right now, what you want to do is, I think one of the only ways you can approach an overtake on this track cleanly, like strategically wise, which is really quite, like, realistically speaking, they're not going to be able to think about this when they're driving. They might have thought of it before, but this is, from the perspective of an outsider, it's a lot easier to say. When you're approaching this out of the straights, right? There are a few straights here, and most notably the Shannon Straight out of the final hairpin of the hairpin section. Try and brake deep, because the straights are so short that the punishing factor of going deep into a corner and then being slow out of it, it's not going to be punishing because the driver ahead of you basically goes like 300 meters and has to brake again. So there's no time for him to pull away from you if you go too deep into the corner. So brake deep, put yourself into a dangerous position, just slightly try and go into the inside, see how he reacts. You just have to keep trying over and over again. And one of these times, perhaps because after the straight, it's the triple S header section, and it lends itself quite well to a car following close behind. If you just tease him a little bit, the driver ahead of you, I'm going to go into the inside, he might go a bit too deep, might brake a little bit too early, the door will open to you, but that's essentially the only way you can approach it. And even then, it's a very slim margin because this track is so hard to overtake on.
I mean, you mentioned it there, Toka. I almost wonder if it's just... I know it is for sure. Whoa, as we're on board with Mark, he's going to go around.
Oh, that's it.
Oh.
Yep, and he's gone.
That's going to be race ending, man. He was sitting up there, P8, having a really nice run. Oh, you hate to see that because not too many drivers had any sort of incidents going to tow it to the pits. You hate to see that from Mark.
Yeah, unfortunate there from Mark Griiip. Just gonna end his race there, and doesn't mean he's also gonna start at the back of the grid as well for race number 2. Remember, only the top 6 is inverted in terms of the starting position. So yeah, you end up like that, well, it's going to hurt you for both races.
That it will. So we're looking at this battle for P5. Still, Yossi just trying to make a move on Loden, but as I started to mention earlier, trying to bounce off what you said, matter of fact, as we hop on board with Loden, these drivers have these mirrors available to them, also have iRacing spotters, but you can definitely kind of play the mental minds game of maybe faking a move into one of those harder braking zones or just doing whatever you can within the mirrors to try and throw off that car in front of you. But yeah, I mentioned all this. Lodem not having any of it though, still 0.4 seconds there in front of Yossi. On day, man, nice run for him as we're getting even closer towards the checkered flag or the white flag of heat number 1. 18.5 minutes down, minute and a half to go. White flag should be displayed next lap by. Now I'm showing these drivers, hey, you didn't come to play today. This is
Mark.
Mark coming up
trying to rejoin the race there, but had to stop himself, or we would have just ruined the race for all the drivers.
That's
respectful.
Driver respect, right? Yeah, okay, I appreciate that you. Some drivers you run into in iRacing might not have that sort of respect for one another, but here, Mark Zubrev, especially IIL, ILAKA, man, respect shown all throughout the field.
It's actually really important that he got running again, Mark Zubrev, because the point paying positions go all the way down to the bottom. So there's only like a 2-point gap to each finishing position. So if you can get your car back on track, you get points anyways, right? Sure, it's not a lot as if your race went well, but it's a lot better than just than DNFing and then getting 0. So any little points will help, and you never know what happens. So falling on board with the Litsky there for a moment to Balba, who had Dima in the back of his rear bumper real close. So let's see what happens here. So the pet pick car is going to try and find something. And look at this exactly what we're talking about, right? It's the racing is so close, and even here Medvedev actually has a better pace, but can't find a way through. This is no gaps exist. We saw white flag already shown, so we're coming to the butt end of this first race of the Gold Series here at Winton Motor Speedway. Well, and they comfortably now in the lead, pulling at 1.8 seconds. So perhaps you were mentioning their setup difference between the two cars. Royven not really defending too well in the long run. It's going to fall all the way back, but yeah, Alan Day going to take a comfortable first race win all the way through. Going to come home, take the checker flag. And Royven Chacha going to come out home in second. Yuval Marek, our championship leader, going to come home in third place position, riding off the podium, falling after by Ali, Lotham, Shafir, Yossi, Gabe, who tried so hard to end that race, just couldn't get past the driver in front. And Omri Farag, and then Rancioni running off the top 8. Dalitsky actually pulling off a final move right before the finishing line and gonna finish ahead of Sinyon Baba. Wow, I was gonna be pissed about that one there. Right before the finishing line, the position swap. And Sinyon Baba gonna come off in 10th and running off that top 10 position. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, that was after the move. So, okay, we'll see how Iran did it, though. With this replay here, brought to you by, well, I thought, oh, okay.
No.
We were about to take a look at the session reset. So, man, great move there, Iran, making the move last minute there on Tyson Baba. And now, well, we mentioned that little inversion, sure, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm rubbing my eyes right now. Alon Day starting on pole, so let me double check here. Okay, so this was set up in the other gold session. It was right, I noticed, but I wonder if things maybe just got a bit rushed through and no inversion, or just, quite frankly, Tal didn't want an inversion for this gold heat. But look, everybody's already here on the grid. This is going to be a great heat number 2. Strap those belts tight. Here we go. Lights on. Get ready. And they're out. Away they go. You see Yuval heading to that kind of inside once again, making sure nobody's going to get a dive bomb done on him. As thought, oh, there's a crash already. Huge incident. The whole damn track's blocked off. Hang on, guys. Hang on.
Yeah, we finally see an incident occur there. It was really clean, respectable start from the first race, not so much at the second race. We see what the potential for chaos this track can invent, and we saw it come to fruition there. Alan Day actually still hanging on to the first place position, so with Roy and Chava in the third place, so Yusuf also in the mix. So top 3 positions completely safe as they were from the end of the first race, but from the remaining positions, well, it's not so clean. A lot of drivers are going to come out not only wounded from the physical car damage, but also their race pace is going to be absolutely wrecked. Let's see how they adapt, but so far the top 3 remains the same. The rest one is a little bit mixed up all over the field. We're not going to see specifically what has happened until the position board comes back up.
That it will. Alan Day, Reuven, Yuval Merrick still sitting P3. And we'll try and take a look at that incident there, that first lap, as things start to single file out just a little bit. The top 3 beginning to break away. Take one quick look here and we'll get you live back to the action. This is heading into turn 1 green flag.
Disgusting dive bomb by Ben Yosef. Oh my God.
God, it was. He shoved that thing in there, and then the wreck already happened in front of him. So you think maybe somebody just checking up even for the wreck.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't Ben Yosef. That was Mark in the pseudo Red Bull car that went for an intercontinental ballistic missile dive bomb there from half the planet away.
Ooh, there it is.
And that's the crash that happened before the dive bomb.
Hey,
3 wide. It's just not gonna work.
I call one of those BMW bumpers. Those will make my man cave look pretty cool. Hang one of those up on the wall.
Yeah, probably sneak in and run across the sand, get one.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Alon Day, Reuven, Yuval. Still no change within our top 3. And man, Tal, I was kind of a little bit curious about the track choice at first, but I totally understand it now. This is really giving all of our drivers a really good test of their handling. Whoa, take a look at the 5. Tyson Baba battling there for P5, trying to get it away from Rand. Peppa Pig machine showing some pace here. Heat number 2.
Yeah, and again, I agree with your comment on the track choice. I mean, the drivers definitely do not enjoy it. I'm sure you know, as an pretty high level iRacing driver yourself. I know that you race ovals more, but and you're on a track like this, and overtakes don't happen. you just hate it. It's just painful sitting behind a car, right, for 20 laps straight. But for us, the viewers or the commentators, in this case, it's great entertainment because these drivers, the moment something happens, it happens big, and it's a multiple car pileup as you see again and again there. And you know, when the gaps do happen, these are racing drivers, right? They're gonna go for, if a gap exists, they're gonna go for it.
Oh no!
Not gonna be a racing driver. Oh, and that's just unfortunate. Out of the hairpin there, turn number 6. Mark Subarev gonna take that and move on with it, but unfortunate for Aaron Delitsky in the purple magenta car. Went too deep into the hairpin, which can happen. Well, tried to get the car stopped in time, ended up spinning himself out when he saw that opponent was already up in his rear mirror, sped up a little bit too fast, tried to get away, maintain position. The Griiip caught him. Now he's dropped all the way back to 13th position.
Just shows you how quick things can happen here. Looks like Dima going to give that spot back, and then, well, we've had Dima go off track here. I don't think that was too much of an incident, so not sure if he's just showing some respect back there for
Ben Yosef is still racing with the entire front part of his car missing.
What? Oh my gosh. Is that Omri? No, okay, Omri, the 997, the whole front bonnet. Again, oh, yeah. MF YouTube on another one of these cars. So, yeah, or MF Racing YouTube. So give them a subscribe shout out, like their videos. But look at a Yaley and Rand and Tyson going at it. Looks like Rand able to make the move over the 5, still holding off that spot of number 5. But the battle for P2 really heating up. That's another MF Racing machine of Yuval Mirik. Hopping on board with him now. We'll look back at the back bumper of Yuval, now on day up in front.
Ryan Yuval Mirik in 3rd place is Junior has actually managed to close down this gap quite significantly to the drivers ahead. So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the gap quite close, and you know, the overtakes can still happen, but it's just so hard. I mean, we can already see from this onboard cam, essentially the track is 2 car wide, right? If you go too wide, the track is basically filled up, completely occupied. You go 3 wide, it's just death that's awaiting those drivers, and especially when the track is so narrow like this, just move slightly over, move a half a car over. There's no space for the driver behind you. And we see the rear bumper on the rear end cam of Royven's car. See, it's super close. Maybe Yuval Mirik actually has a better pace, considering that Royven probably pushed a bit hard to try and cash out a day at the start of the race. But now we're a bit settled in here, and Yuval Mirik's going to cash back up. Still, it's just no space, man. This gap is ever decreasing, but the opportunities are just not coming.
Yeah, not at all. And let's take a look at the lap time differential between our leaders. Take a look at Alan Day's lap time here. It looks like he's able to be faster than Reuven on 2, 3, 5, 6, but Reuven just damn near matching his pace there lap 4. And then if we take a look at Reuven's pace compared to Yuval significantly faster, yep. But we've seen it all day, man. Just not able to make a pass. You're gonna have to wait for Reuven to make a mistake if that's even possible from a gold driver. Really nice.
And you gotta be careful with how aggressive you chase down this, because Yuval Mirik has to be careful not to get blinded by the fact that yes, he is a little bit faster right now, but if he makes the same mistake that Royven made, right, when he tried to chase down Alan Day, where he's pushing lap after lap after lap, now his tires are completely cooked, his car's falling off, and he's dropping a 10th every lap to the driver behind. It's gonna hurt him in the long run. So Yuval has to try and be patient, has to understand that this is a track where you have to wait and wait and wait, and maybe those chances never come, and you know, you just have to take that fact, but you have to wait, because when it does come, you're only rewarded if you've been patient the entire way through.
I have to keep an eye on this battle for second, but man, really quick, shouting out all the drivers that came out today, but I was about to cut away from it. Reuven into the pits.
What happened there? I think
this is it's a longer race than our Silver Series, but I was not told of any pit stops that would be occurring. I was not told of any fuel capacity cuts. So as I was about to take you through the field, brought to you by SSN, I mean, might have to hold off on that. Is look, Reuven's still in the pit. That's more of just a quick fuel stop. I'm dumbfounded here, Toka. I'm not sure what's going on.
He might be.
He's out of the car.
He's out of the car, so he's retired here.
Wow.
Not sure what happened. We'll have to check on that after the race to get our facts straight. But for now, all we can run with are the facts right now, which are at a day is gonna just come home, take this checker flight, really uncontested. And Yubo Merrick's gonna say thank you very much. He stepped on the second place there. And Kanovitsky is also gonna be glad because he's just moved up to the podium positions without having to work for it at all.
And definitely so. I think the gaps are probably so big between these top four now that nothing to worry about within the last 10 minutes of their last race here. But say if you're Lodem here and Mark Zubrev trying to hold him off, we'll keep an eye on this battle because look at Mark. You can see how aggressive he's trying to be. Matter of fact, slipping off into the gravel just a little bit there, trying to keep the three of Lodem behind him. But yeah, we've seen Lodem how he raced. Whoa, Mark's gonna go off track.
And perhaps that was that tiny little dip to the tire into the gravel that hurt him ultimately in the end here with Oracle Red Bull Racing helmets. Mark Zubrev gonna try and chase down, but that was the only close fight in this race that was still existing, as we saw here. Mark Zubrev gonna come into this corner, running a little bit tight on the left-hand side there. Tried to readjust, put himself back into the middle of the track and defend, and then ended up adjusting a little bit too much, running off wide, and basically ending that fight without a contest.
Okay, so that was our closest battle, but look at Omri making the no bonnet work on the BMW right on Drawer's last back bumper. Omri running P10 in the 997, BMW M2, IIL of course, all over the car. Of course, MF Racing as well. Please, again, shout out to them, subscribe to them. But yeah, closest battle on track at the moment. There's a few car links between the two, and Mark Zubrev having a real nice run after what happened Heat 1. He's gained 8 spots since the start of this race, and I unfortunately hate to mention it. Oh, Yehuda, that's not even what I was going to mention going for a spin, but Reuven, maybe just a little bit of personal issue or hardware issue. We'll have to double check on that, get our viewers updated, but here's the Yehuda spin. Got Yoshi right there running behind him, trying to reel him in for what was P12. Just a little bit deep, running in the marbles.
Yeah, it's a little bit of understeer there. It's just tough, man. That triple hairpin section is you have to pick your braking spots and your turning spots pretty precisely, otherwise that will happen.
Oh, hang on to him,
Mark Zubrev running wide. He has to be careful with how he rejoins the track. He can rejoin into an immediate fight with the driver behind here. So Mark Zubrev running wide's going to put himself into jeopardy, and Omri Farak's going to say thank you very much, making the no front and work on that BMW. You know, you call that damage, I call that active aero activation. We are not the same. He's making that work right now.
Oh, I love it. Maybe just a little faster in the corners compared to the straights, but here's that look at Mark. A little bit wide. Toka, was that the same corner that Mark just went off? And not quite sure, but yeah, banging some bumpers there with the 997. Omri Farak.
What's the same corner that Ben Youssef went wide?
Okay, yeah, right. Okay. Damn, too wide here in the turn one. Look out. That could have gotten ugly.
It was too wide for a second. Yeah, it could have got really ugly. We saw, I mean, the entire incidents we saw in both the Silver races and in this race as well where the multiple car pileup was from that first corner where the drivers kind of try and go side by side. It just doesn't work. Mark Subarev once again is trying to defend. Oh my God, almost cutting Omri Farah in half there with his car. That was a terrifying maneuver. Perhaps more terrifying because of this camera angle. But yeah, you gotta try and be careful on this track. You have to drive on your mirrors a little bit because I mean there's just no space. And in fact, it looks like he tried to go for a dive, but actually gonna feint a move here and make Mark Subarev double think his decision of defending the position. Compromise his line a little bit, but overall it's just tough. So once again, Mark Subarev gonna be able to go ahead and get ahead of Omri, and Omri's gonna look for another move, try and capitalize on that active aero advantage that he has.
How about Yuval making that pass on a Yaley? I'll try and get a replay of that, but okay, now we're gonna have to take a look at the lap time history between Hamon and Yuval. That's P2 and P3. Here we go. So, ooh, oh boy, Yuval faster that lap. 5.5 minutes to go. This thing is not over just yet. So, and once Yuval was able to get around to Yaley, pace has definitely increased for him. And stick with us, folks. This last 5 minutes, we'll also try to get you some driver interviews at the end of the race. No promises there, but definitely going to have to hear from our top three after this is over with, as this race continues to get just a little bit closer. We tick down just now 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I actually see Yuval, the battle between Yuval and Allen's actually between the second and third place drivers in the championship, so we can see how close it is. And Yuval leading in the championship, seeing how competitive he can get, getting past the Ali kind of which you kind of inherited, right? That third place position from the Roivin incident. So Yuval just cutting out his lead, one tenth and a half a lap, just going ever closer. So about 4 minutes left in this race. If he keeps going at this pace, he can get within 1 second, a little bit even less than 1 second. By that time, you already got the slipstream, and you can actually think about actually taking the lead of this race towards. I think it'll have to be the last lap if there was a move to happen.
Gap now just under 2 seconds. I mean, you can visually see it there as we saw from our outboard cameras jumping back on board with Yuval now. I mean, there's the visual difference. It's there. Yuval now gap still 2 seconds after that straightaway, so great exits from both drivers. Now heading up into the S's section. See him being very aggressive on those bumps, and then here are the most aggressive ones out of turn 10. Makes it work, kind of gets it symmetrical underneath the car, so no harm, no foul there. 2 second gap still between these two, and then don't look now, but this battle for P10 still between Omri, Dima, Yossi, just hasn't gone away since, quite frankly, the start of the race.
Yeah, exactly, and I mean it's just gonna continue on here. Basically, 5 cars yodeling for all of these positions. I mean, but perhaps you can say, yeah, I mean, Omri and Dima's a little bit too far ahead, but basically a 2 and a 3 fight here. So, I mean, this is a lot closer than we expect, especially considering this another driver will have his Omri still with the entire front part of his car missing. I mean, if he's losing time from this, it's gonna allow the drivers behind to catch up a little bit more than before. And Omri, I can have to do his best to try to defend, but Dima already on the back of this MF Racing car. So close, but yet still unable to find a gap, right? We see it again and again on this track, where the driver behind can be so much faster, especially in this case. They're so close, basically one meter difference of braking, and that would be colliding into each other, but there still exists no gaps that they can go for. It's just so rough. There's still time in this race, especially coming into these last few laps here towards the end of the race. The drivers are a lot more prone to folding under pressure and making silly mistakes. You never know what can happen around with Yossi Griiip here, who is in the prime position to see all of these cars lined up perfectly. Just goes to show you how close this gap is between all 5 cars. Anything can happen. If just one of these drivers goes for a single move, he can throw the entire pack into chaos.
That it can, and that it will. And looking out the back bumper of Mark Zubarev at Omri Farag, and what pace out of that BMW with no front bumper. Omri, man, way to go, keeping it up P10 at the moment. We mentioned before, every single point counts as we continue to tick just a little bit closer towards the end of the season. But that gap for the lead, don't know if Alon's listening to the broadcast live, or, I mean, you see the NASCAR fire suit on him. He's come across our side of the sea, ran a few wheel-in tour race modifieds with us. Man, Alon probably knows just what he's doing. 6,000 I rating, road I rating out of Alon, and half of that 6,000 road I rating, 3,000 there for Yuval. Able to keep it within 2 seconds. That's pretty respectable, man. I'd pat myself on the back if I was Yuval there. Really abusing the curbs. See how much Ayeli here, not as much of abuse on those curves, but you see Barney the flag man waving that white flag. White flag is out. Alon just has to keep this thing on track on this skinny track. So easier said than done, but it's already heading up into turn 4, 5, 6 now. That's already half the damn track. Looks like Alon will solidify this heat's race number 2 gold as his own. And hang on now, this battle, we are just now joining on white flag. Mark Zubarev, wonder if he's going to make a dive bomb on drawer last.
Yeah, still a super tight racing between these 5 cars, jarling for 10th, for 9th, down, all the way down to number 12. Just driving on board with drawer last. Mark Zubarev just right on him. Oh my God, just teasing him. Just tiny little bits. Trying to cut into a gap. Trying to manifest, see if it happens. And if it does, he's in prime position. Just dive, put his front right into that gap. Oh my God, the collision. Alan Day and Yuval Marek there, already finishing the race, but it doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of
a little close there after the checkered.
All right,
this is coming to the checkered here,
plays. Oh my God, these drivers going to be taking a checkered flag within 1/10 of each other.
Whoa!
No moves happening.
Lodo's going to get loose.
Trying to remove the slipstream, not allow a move to happen.
Oh,
collision towards the end there. But yeah, no moves is going to occur. Oh, what the heck's happened? The Ben Youssef and Aaron Leditsky collided. They didn't take the checkered flag, but they stopped on track, so not too sure what happened. But yeah, we get to see this again. But yeah, oh my God, that came down to the wire there. Pretty much from 8th all the way down to 12th. So that's over 6 positions jostling for each other. Just pretty much 1 to 2 tenths between each cars. But ultimately, it was so close all the way through. But no moves happened, and basically end up with the same order that we had mid-race through after the DNF from, unfortunately, from Roiv and Chacha. Yeah, that puts this session for the Gold Series to an end. And well, Alan Day clean sweeps both races.
That he did. Congratulations, Alan Day, Yuval Marek, Ayeli on that top 3 finish. Not showing anybody in the IIL Discord, however, I know I have Yuval as a friend, so I am going to give a quick Discord call to Yuval, our P2 finisher, points leader. Toka, I will get back with you right after the call, but anything else for our viewers today from up in the booth at Winton Motor Speedway?
It's pretty fun race. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to move to the driver's interview here with you all from Sean. I'm just going to say my goodbye here preemptively. I've been told it's been super fun joining you all today. Hopefully, I have more opportunities to join Shawnee up in the booth for more future big motorsports action.
Thank you so much, Toka, and gonna get these viewers quick interview, and yeah, I'll be right back for you right afterwards. So, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Yuval right now. Be right back. Hey, Yuval, you got a copy?
Wait a second. Wait. Hold up. Wait. Yeah.
Yuval, man, almost had Alan Day there in the closing laps. Had the pace, just not enough time to make it work. What was the start and what was the ends like? I mean, the start of the Heat 2, a little bit more action-packed than Heat 1.
I mean, I expected that, and that's why I went to the inside. So, yeah. Oh my God, I'm sweating.
Man, this track's so skinny, little room for error. And yeah, I saw you, man, both starts. You cut to that inside line. That's just a safer spot to be to make sure nobody kind of makes a dive bomb on your ass?
Yep. That's like, if you're out in the outside, you can get pushed off, hit, get dive bombed. But when you're in the inside, you're deciding like what the others would do. So
Yeah, that's a fair point. And man, congratulations to Alan Day. Unfortunately, not seeing him up in the IIL Discord. But what was Alan's pace like there with you trying to catch him? We hopped on board for a few laps towards the ends there. I mean, it seemed like Alan was so quick through the braking zones, had that top speed down the backstretch also.
yeah, I mean, he's a 4-time Euro NASCAR champion, so I'm not complaining finishing behind him.
Yeah, man, definitely. That's you got. I think I mentioned it there in the broadcast, but definitely a pat on the back for yourself because I mean half his I rating and you're able to finish within 2.5 seconds. So very nice run. Congratulations to everybody running today, and more specifically that top three: Alon, Yuval, and Ayeli. Congratulations, guys. This has been Stam Studio Network. Sean Stam, Toka up in the booth. I'm gonna get on out of here. Thanks again for joining us live on IIL YouTube as well as SSN. Have a great rest of your day, nights, and join us next time.